Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm studying for my 307 marketing final. So I'm just going to go through all the notes that I have taken. So the first unit we're looking at is Introduction to Project Management, which was week 5 of our notes. The first learning objective is to define the types of product attributes. So product attributes are characteristics by which products are identified and differentiated. There is firstly a core benefit, which is the main benefit a consumer gets from a product. Then there are expected attributes, the basic attributes necessary for delivering benefits or that have become expected, and add-on attributes, which are unexpected extra attributes. I'm just gonna add a little number 1, number 2, and number 3. And so it kind of makes a little like concentric circles if you think about it, with core benefit at the center, and then expected attributes, and then add-on attributes. The next learning objective is to, one moment, define the types of consumer products and services. So first we have convenience products, which are purchased frequently, widely available, and priced affordably. Then shopping products, consumers spend more time thinking about and purchasing a shopping product. Specialty products have unique attributes, and unsought products are products that consumers have no awareness of until an external cue. And then these are like extra ones, so I'm not going to highlight them, but we have durable products, which last a long time and are not consumed quickly, non-durable products, which are only valuable for a short period of time and are consumed or lose value quickly. Staple products are basic items that most people need, and they usually are widely available. Consumer packaged good, or CPG, is consumed quickly and often. Most food items at grocery stores would qualify. Impulse products are low cost and purchased with little thought or on impulse, and emergency products, are purchased during immediate need or emergency. The next learning objective, let me see if I can move this. That'll make my life a lot easier. Perfect. The next one is to know the stages in the product lifecycle and how to apply marketing strategies for each stage. So first, just to define the product lifecycle, it's the typical pattern that a successful new product takes from development to the end of its life. So then the first stage is product development. The product is still being developed and tested. There's preliminary market research. Then, we have introduction. The product is first offered for sale commercially, and there's a focus on increasing brand awareness. Growth. There's a sales increase and profits rise, and then communication to customers is about why they should buy your product. Maturity. Maturity. I wish I could highlight this better. Maturity. Nope. Lovely. The product sales have leveled off, profits begin to decrease. You move from gaining market share to maintaining it, and you remind the customers about the product. Then we have decline, where profits are dropping off dramatically, companies are exiting the market, and no further money is invested into product advertising or just anything really about the product. And then lastly, we have extending the product life cycle. I'm not going to talk a lot about that, but then you can do these different things to extend the product life cycle. And then once again, I'm going to go back and number these. So first off is product development, then introduction, then growth, then maturity, then decline, and then this is like kind of 6, extending the product life cycle. Okay, the next learning objective, explain the difference between product mix breadth and depth. Product mix breadth is how many different product lines a firm offers, or the assortment of products. Product mix depth is how many different variations or versions of each product the firm carries. Describe the different groups of adopters articulated by the diffusion of innovation theory. So we have the little like diffusion curve that shows different customer groups at different times, different groups of adopters, I suppose is what this is calling it. So those include innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So this is kind of like the order in which they start adopting the product. So innovators obviously accept it first, and then laggards accept it last. And then, as you can see here, I wrote in that there's a higher product acceptance rate the higher up you go. So innovators are really accepting and laggards are much less accepting. Describe the various standard stages involved in developing a new product or service. So we have the new product strategy, idea generation, concept testing, prototype product development, test marketing, commercialization, and evaluation of results. Let me double check that's it. Yep. And then I have a few notes for some of these. So idea generation is the systematic search for new product ideas obtained internally from employees, externally from customers, competitors, distributors, and suppliers. It also considers strategies for acquiring new product ideas. And then test marketing, you test the alternative new product concepts with groups of target customers and choose the concept with the strongest appeal. We also talked about a standard test market, which is a full marketing campaign in a small number of representative cities, versus a controlled test market, which is an observation of a few stores that agree to carry the products for a fee. Next up, understand the criteria for predicting new product success. This is relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, observability, and trialability. And now we have conjoint analysis. First, I have a definition, and conjoint analysis is a statistical technique used in marketing to understand how consumers make trade-offs between different product attributes. It helps businesses determine the most important features of a product or service from the perspective of their target customers. And then these are like the steps of conjoint analysis. You select your attributes, you select attribute levels, you design the survey, you collect data, you analyze the data, and then you have insights and decision making. So that is it for, what was that? Introduction to product management. So now we had a guest speaker, and that was Richard Manoogian. And so he talked about identifying the 5 C's of a successful marketing career. First up is communication. This can be spoken, written, just listening. Critical analysis, you have to ask questions, but particularly the right one, looking at qualitative versus quantitative analysis. You turn research into data, and that data into information through interpreting that data. Creativity, you have to solve problems to ideate solutions, and the difference between advertising and PR, which PR is free. So that's like an example of how you can be creative and you can have kind of your marketing approach be inexpensive or free. Collaboration, you might not always have the best ideas, so you have to collaborate with other people to get those ideas. And then cultural competence is like an understanding of what's going on around you, and this can change with time. Awesome. So then we're moving on to brands and brand management, which was week 8. First, learn the different functions of a brand. To define a brand is a name, shape, symbol, or design that communicates a product's attributes, benefits, values, and personality. The 2 functions of a brand are identification. This can be like through a trademark, as well as differentiation. You differentiate through attributes, usage situations, personality, emotional history, previous experience, relatability, attitude, and the typical customer. Next, identify the different brand elements. These are things like name, logo, color scheme, anything that really differentiates a brand. And then for developing a brand map for brand associations, first to define a brand association map. A brand association map is a visual illustration that shows different associations that a consumer has with a brand. This can be done through something like a word cloud where you have all the different associations that consumers have with the brand. Understand how to create a strategy for a cohesive brand image. Brand image is how consumers actually view a brand and what associations they have with it. And then this can be done through all of these things, so I'm just going to highlight this down. You can do this through a brand name or mark, your promise and purpose, your tone, personality, associations and brand words, consistent logo usage, a lot of consistency, photos and videos, website content, consistent messaging, colors, font, packaging, and fulfill brand promises. I'm just going to highlight consistent here as well. And then we're going to identify the advantages that brands provide to firms and consumers. Advantages for firms are differentiation, brand loyalty, premium pricing, market expansion, brand extensions, and competitive advantage. For consumers, you have quality assurance, brand trust, a symbol of status or identity, consistent experience, product variety, and emotional connection. Oh. Explain the various components of brand equity. So brand equity is a positive differential effect that knowing the brand name has on customer response to the product or service, customers' subjective and intangible assessment of the brand above and beyond its objectively perceived value. So the first of these is trust benefits, which includes reliability, economy, safety, performance, and customer support, as well as image attributes. If the brand is desirable, prestigious, a sort of escape, luxurious, green. And then there's also just awareness, being aware of a brand. Distinguish between a category extension and a line extension. A line extension is a vertical strategy that extends the product line, so you're adding a new product. Oh, nope. Taking that back. Line extension, you're extending the product line, so you have an existing product and you just kind of make variations of it. It's still that same product. And then you have category extension, horizontal strategy, where you make a new product line. So you're extending the number of products that you offer. Distinguish between a manufacturer's brand and private label brands, and describe why distributors use private label brands. So private label brands are things at a store that are labeled specifically for that store. Private label brands are less expensive, and store-branded private label products have seen faster growth than their established competitors. Awesome. What are the pros and cons of using line extensions and brand extensions? I'm honestly just going to highlight all of these because I feel like they're important. So the pros, you have new revenue sources, reduce cost and less risk for product introductions, satisfy customer desire for something different and block competitors, move customers to higher price points, tech innovations, help control shelf space, address the retailer need for different versions, and can energize the brand. Negatives are redundancy, underexploited ideas, too many choices that confuse customers, increased administrative costs, and then brand dilution, which undermines brand loyalty. And now we have some additional terms. First off, a family brand are related products marketed under a single brand name. Brand dilution is weakening or diminishing of a brand's strength, value, or distinctiveness. It can occur when a brand's identity becomes less clear or when its associations with specific attributes or qualities become less strong or consistent. And then co-branding is a marketing strategy in which two or more brands collaborate to create a joint product, service, marketing campaign that combine the strengths and resources of each brand to create value and appeal to consumers. So that was brands and brand management. Now, services marketing. Let's understand what services are and how they are marketed differently than products. So services are intangible products often purchased with physical goods, delivered in the form of acts or deeds performed for or with the customer. Services marketing is the process of planning, delivering, and then improving the individual service acts and performances that create memorable experiences when satisfying a buyer's needs. To market for intangibility, you have to convey benefits and set consumer expectations. There's complicated pricing and communication, so consumers have trouble evaluating services. Market for perishability, you have to invest in resources and personnel to deliver services at the appointed time. It's impossible to store or transport services, so once the opportunity passes to sell them, it's gone. Market for variability. Train staff well, have precise performance standards, measure service outcomes to determine customer satisfaction. And customers will rarely want the exact same service. And then for inseparability, the service provider, and customer are intertwined, which creates an opportunity to create unique, memorable customer experiences. Define what is meant by customer experience and how it relates to marketing services. Customer experience is the satisfaction a customer has with every aspect of the brand through every service encounter across the entire life of the relationship. And excellent customer experiences are at the heart of service marketing. Overview the customer journey mapping as a way to architect excellent customer experiences. A customer journey map is a visual representation of every encounter and experience a typical customer can have. It's built from the customer perspective, includes all touch points, and spans the full customer lifecycle. Discuss customer lifetime value and the set of benefits that relate to it. Customer lifetime value is the total revenue associated with a customer for the duration of their relationship with a brand. Benefits of having a loyal customer is they're less likely to consider competitors, less price sensitive, open to purchase additional services from the brand. They advocate for service brands, they're a source of new ideas and suggestion, more forgiving of service failures, and more profitable. Learn what a service blueprint is and how it helps marketers offer better services. A service blueprint is a diagram that depicts a service process and relationship between elements of the service and how they relate to touch points in the customer journey. Blueprint failure points can help identify areas where possible failures may occur. And kind of a result of this is the service recovery paradox, which is a paradox that occurs when a failure and great recovery results in a customer being more satisfied than if there were no failure in the first place. Sorry. There's also fail-safing. So if you see those possible failures, you can fail-safe so that they don't occur. And then describe the 7 P's of services marketing. We have obviously product, price, promotion, and place, but we also have the 3 additional ones, which are processes and systems, people, and physical environment. That is the end of services marketing, and now we're going to move on to pricing, which was in week 11 for us. So first, we have to know basic pricing terminology. So price is what is being charged or exchanged for the product or service. Value is what a product or service is worth to a customer or the maximum amount they would pay. Fixed cost is the cost associated with operating and marketing expenses of a company. Variable cost is the per unit costs associated with the product. Break-even quantity is the quantity a company needs to sell at a certain price in order to cover fixed costs. And break-even price is the amount a marketer needs to price a product at in order to cover expenses at a certain quantity sold. Understand the general approaches for setting prices. So we have a markup percentage, or a markup, which is a percent or dollar amount added to cost to determine selling price. I'm actually going to highlight that. And we have cost-based pricing, which companies use the cost of goods sold as the basis for determining the final price. You take the product cost plus a markup. Direct cost pricing calculates variable cost only, and full cost pricing takes into account both variable and fixed costs. It's easy to calculate and implement, easy to understand, and fair. It's difficult to factor fair cost into price, not ideal for pricing many services, and not the most profitable. Profit margin is the difference between the final selling price and the product cost. Market-based pricing, you look at competitors and price similarly or strategically price your product higher or lower. Value-based pricing, you price based on perceived value that the consumer receives. This can be because of credibility and dependability, unique aspects of the product, importance of the situation. Pros, it can maximize profits. Cons, it's difficult to calculate value and may be unfair if different customers are charged different values. Dynamic pricing is a variable rate. As demand fluctuates, price changes. Flat rate price, there is one rate for unlimited use of a service during a specified time, and it's very transparent. A la carte pricing, you choose to add and purchase product features individually. Price skimming, you introduce the product at an initial high price and lower it over time. Market penetration, you introduce the product at a low price to gain market share, developing lower customer base that will repurchase once you move the product to a higher price. Odd even price, you set the price of a product a few cents or dollars under an even number. Reference pricing, you use another price as a reference point to make a product's price seem more appealing. This can be either the original price, the industry reference point, random incidental reference point, or a third option. Prestige pricing, you set higher prices to create an elite perception, and status-seeking customers will buy your product. Bundle pricing, you package 2 or more goods and services together and sell at the packaged price below what the individual total would be. Multiple unit pricing, you create a price break for a purchase of multiple units of a product. Loss leader, you sell a popular item at an artificially low price, often below cost. Understand the psychological aspects of pricing. A lot of that went into all those pricing methods that I just explained, but also there is the extremity aversion theory where people tend to avoid extreme options, including in pricing, and they often choose a middle option. List the pricing practices that are illegal or unethical. These are price fixing, price discrimination, predatory pricing, loss leader pricing, and dumping. Explain how price elasticity relates to customer price sensitivity. So a higher price elasticity implies higher customer price sensitivities, because when demand is elastic, there are small changes in price which lead to significant changes in quantity demanded. This indicates that customers are highly sensitive to price changes. And low price elasticity implies low customer price sensitivity, exactly the opposite. Describe the different types of basic pricing objectives for a for-profit and non-profit organization. For a for-profit, they're trying to maximize profits, have penetration, volume, be competitive, and have relationship incentives. Not-for-profits are also maximizing profits, penetration, cost recovery, market suppression, and market incentives. Sorry. Describe 3 strategic reasons why supporting why a company might price a product below cost. And these are to cover variable costs, gain an important order, and increase market share. Next, let's calculate sales volume implications of price changes. So I'm actually going to use blue here. If you have a price reduction, the percentage of that price reduction divided by the original margin percentage minus the price reduction percentage equals your needed additional sales, so your needed sales increase. Sorry, I couldn't read my writing for a second. And then if you have a price increase, you need to do the original margin percentage plus that price increase divided by the original margin plus the price increase, which is equal to the break-even sales decrease. And now we have additional pricing tactics. These are unbundling, a strategy where customers a strategy where a product, or service previously bundled is separated and sold individually, allowing customers to pick and choose only what they want. Captive pricing, which is you price primary product relatively low at or near cost with the intention of generating revenue from related or complementary products or services, therefore capturing customers by offering attractive price for the main product while relying on sales of additional necessary items for profit. Rebates are the seller offers a partial refund or discount on the purchase price after the sale is completed. It's provided as cash back, a gift card, a voucher, or a reduction in original price, and it incentivizes customers to buy the product by promising a financial benefit. And lastly, break-even analysis. This looks at, should you be in business? What impact will projected sales increase or decrease have on profitability? What price should you charge? And how do budget changes affect profitability? Again, going back to the blue, fixed costs divided by your price minus variable costs will give you your break-even quantity. And then we're going to look at these equations in another unit, but it's important to note that the markup percentage is price minus cost over cost, and the margin percentage is price minus cost over price. That is all of pricing. Next, we have the promotion overview and the focus on advertising from week 12. Understand the elements of the promotion mix. So we have sales promotion, which is short term, coupons, free samples, frequent user programs. You balance demand and capacity. Effectiveness can be measured. Promotional costs vary with volume, and it reduces the risk of initial trial. Public relations, they promote goodwill and build trust, lobby for good of company, creates a positive brand image, manage publicity, and investor relations. Personal selling, these are kind of the steps of personal selling. Direct marketing has a goal of receiving direct response from the customer. And then advertising is external communication that is paid for by the seller and promotes product to potential customers. Advertising can either cast to inform, persuade, remind, and reinforce. Sorry. And then describe the characteristics of the different advertising media and their best uses. So the different advertising media are broadcast, print, out-of-home, and digital. Learn how to break through the promotional clutter. So clutter is noise from competing messages that consumers receive. And then what we do to break through that clutter is the success model. It is a model focusing on cutting through promotional clutter, help a message stand out and be impactful. And the model is simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional stories. Describe advantages of using public relations and the elements of a public relations toolkit. The benefits are it looks more credible to consumers, there's strong persuasion to consumers, and it's relatively low cost. Toolkit is information releases, press tours, sponsored news happenings, client spokesperson pieces. Identify the various types of sales promotions. So we have sales, we have rebates, we have coupons, contests and sweepstakes, price packs, premiums where you get an extra gift if you buy a certain amount, patronage rewards, point of purchase, advertising specialties, cross promotion where one brand helps promote another. Differentiate between an implicit and explicit test for measuring promotion effectiveness. Explicit tests provide direct feedback from customers and stakeholders, allowing for detailed insights into perceptions and behaviors. However, they may be influenced by response bias, such as social desirability bias or recall bias. Implicit tests are implicit methods that can uncover subconscious reactions and emotional responses that individuals may not express explicitly. They offer insights into implicit attitudes, and associations, but may be less straightforward to interpret and require specialized expertise and technology. Next, distinguish between a rational appeal and an emotional appeal. And just keep in mind that creative appeal is the reason why someone pays attention to any form of marketing. A rational, practical appeal is about being dependable, durable, easy to use, or convenient, and an emotional appeal uses fear, humor, pride, sex, status, or sympathy, etc. Additional terms, we have puffery, pre-test, post-test, and premium. Puffery is to exaggerate something so much that you know it's clearly a joke. Pre-test is the evaluation or assessment of a promotional campaign or advertisement before it is officially launched or implemented on a large scale. Post-test is an evaluation or assessment conducted after a promotional campaign or advertising initiative has already been implemented. And then premium we talked about above. Distinguish between push and pull promotion strategies. Push marketing actively pushes a product or service toward potential customers, aiming to persuade customers to purchase the product or service without necessarily having prior interest or intent of purchase. Pull marketing creates demand for a product or service by attracting and engaging potential customers. The goal is to draw customers toward the product or service by providing value and allowing them to make decisions to purchase on their own. So that concludes the promotion overview and focus on advertising. Next, we have digital marketing from week 13. So learn how search engines work and how to optimize a site for search engines through an SEO. So search engine optimization, or SEO, is a practice whose goal is to make a website easier to find by ranking high on a search engine results page. Failing to rank high on a search engine results page, or SERP, dramatically limits a web page's visibility. You can have web pages included in results of as many searches as possible and appear at top of the first SERP with SEO. What search engines do is index. They create indexes of all content stored online, and they are crawling, where they use crawlers, programs that visit every page of each site online to determine what content they hold. They consider a web page's relevance and popularity, aka their authority. Google ranks each page of a website individually. And then there's relevancy optimization, which looks at on-page or on-site SEOs. They look at all these things of a website: the design, content, keywords and titles, page text, URLs, length, unique content, images, bounce rate and dwell time, and page load time. Popularity optimization ranks a page on quality of the links from quality sites. And then search engine marketing is creating and running ads that appear on an SERP with organic search results. Understand the different digital advertising options. Earned media leads to publicity. Earned media and shared media leads to collaborations. Shared media and owned media leads to social media. Owned media is things like content and properties. Shared media and owned media and paid media is an incentive. And owned media and paid media is paid placement. Explain how remarketing is used to promote a product. Through the use of cookies, you can show ads to people who've already visited your website. Identify examples of marketing metrics used to measure IMC success. IMC is integrated marketing communications when all pieces of the promotional mix work cohesively to promote the product. You have brand awareness metrics, which include reach and impressions, engagement metrics, which are things like the click-through rate and time spent on the page, conversion metrics, customer experience metrics like NPS and customer lifetime value, and then return on investment and financial metrics. Next, we have to differentiate between opt-in and opt-out direct marketing approaches. Opt-in, the customer gave permission for future communication, and opt-out, customers did not ask for the communication, but they can opt out of it. So that finishes, digital marketing. Next, we have social media marketing from week 14. Starting with learning the trends in the changing landscape of social media. Social media are websites and apps that are platforms where users can share contact and info and interact with one another. These include, trends include video and live stream, audio rooms, AR, influencer marketing, ephemeral marketing, mobile use, and TikTok challenges. Understand general social media and marketing tips. And then to define social media marketing, it is using social media platforms strategically to market a person, product, company, organization, or idea. You want to make sure that you represent your brand identity, interact on the site, and create and share value. Know an overview of the social media platforms and their uses. X, previously Twitter, has 280 characters, it's easily shared, and it has a short lifespan. Instagram is visual, they have filters, they have stories now, and they have a younger audience. Pinterest is a visual scrapbook where you pin or save and organize images, and it's mostly a female audience, and you create future plans on the platform. Facebook is the largest user base. They have businesses can make pages, and it's a large ad targeting platform. Snapchat is photo messaging for a limited time, and there's filters, /lenses, and geofilters. LinkedIn is about employment and business connections. There can be groups and you can create articles. YouTube is about video sharing. It shows up on Google and you can search through the videos. And then TikTok is short form videos. There's 8 new users every second and you can target Gen Z or a younger audience through it. Learn resources for monitoring a brand on social media. Social media monitoring is listening out for social media convos that are relevant to your brand. It's also called social listening. You can catch or address a PR issue, find relevant industry or competitor news, connect with customers, encourage current brand fans, provide support for complaints, answer questions, find trends and understand customer preferences, and gain business away from your competitors. And then more social media trends are having digital communities, the future of e-commerce, customer service, micro-influencers, short-form videos, having funny, trendy, relatable content, and AI content. Identify important data needed to calculate customer lifetime value. These include customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, and then customer lifetime value is the present value of future net cash flows associated with a customer relationship, and it's the total revenue associated with a customer for the duration of their relationship with a brand. So that concludes social media marketing. And now we're going to move into distribution from week 15. So define what distribution channels are and describe why they are needed. Distribution channels connect products to people. A distribution channel is a path to market for goods and services. They are needed because, I forget exactly where they are. I think it's these ones. So they're convenient for customers, they provide access, and they provide awareness of products to customers. And then there's differentiation where an item can be sold. An item is sold, which can cause a higher perceived value, access to new markets, economies of scale, efficiency in creating barriers to entry. Economies of scale: if you find a channel with efficient supply chain, you can reduce your costs and connect the consumer with the producer. And then creating barriers to entry, the channel exchanges loyalty for rewards from brands, such as higher margins, which can create a barrier to the brand's competitors. I'm going to erase this. Identify and compare the broad classes of distribution channels. So we have a direct channel, a channel owned by a manufacturer or supplier that doesn't use a third-party intermediary. In direct channels, customers are large, customers insist on it, there's a complex sales process, and the sales process delivers value. You're usually focused on a margin, a faster supply chain, support and expertise, discounts, and adding value. Then we have an indirect channel where any third-party intermediary is in between the selling brand and the buying customer. And a third-party intermediary is just any other business separate from the brand whose product it carries. Indirect channels provide access to new markets, the ability to handle small purchases, and an assortment that customers will value. This is usually focused on order size, assortment, market presence, customer understanding, and added value. And then discuss distribution channel design considerations and channel management challenges. The only thing we looked at was intensity of distribution, which is the level of distribution a company chooses depending on its needs. Now, describe 4 major areas of channel member responsibilities. These are selling functions, which are advertising, finding leads, personal selling, and customer education. Financing functions, where you offer credit and collect accounts receivable. Order management, where you fill orders, assort, share info, invoice, transport, and deliver. And then post-sales service is focused on customer service, product training, you install, you assist, you handle returns, and you repair products. Identify the source of channel power for some channel members. The different sources of channel power are reward. This provides something like a bonus, coercive power, referent power, which is based on the popularity of a product, expertise, which is focused on your skills, information, which includes knowledge or market information, and then legitimate, which is derived from contracts, legal things, and they're things like franchises. That concludes distribution. Now moving on to retailing. First, know general retail terms. Retail is the sale of goods and services to the final customer as opposed to another business. Brick and mortar is a physical storefront. And then we have to know product line, product width and breadth, product depth, product assortment / merchandise mix. Understand the different types of retail stores. Convenience stores are small stores often located in or near residential areas with limited product lines. They have a wide product width, but not depth. Specialty stores feature narrow and deep product lines. They have narrow product areas. Discount stores offer products at a discount, often due to extra inventory, factory buyouts, previous season items, or product damage, such as Nordstrom Rack or TJ Maxx. Department stores offer a wide assortment of product lines, wide product breadth. Divided up into departments of similar types of product lines. A supermarket is a medium to large grocery store offering large selections of grocery items, sometimes at discounted prices, such as Kroger. A big box store or a supercenter is a large retail store that is often part of a chain, and they carry large amounts of merchandise like Target or Lowe's. And then we also talked about category killers, which are specialty stores on steroids, factory outlets, off-price retailers where you get a great deal, but you don't know what the stock is, kind of similarly to a discount store, except there's no consistency in their stock. And then warehouse clubs where you can find great deals, good merchandise, there's a poor selection, low convenience, and there's a membership model. Learn trends in the retail environment. There is a rise in online sales, mobile shopping increase, decrease in mall shopping, decrease in sales in department and other vulnerable stores, an increase in experience purchases, where you create product assortment through going local, offer online options through going omnichannel, and omnichannel is when retailers make online purchasing and delivery options available to consumers with the goal of being everywhere.
and you use augmented reality and other technology. Apply marketing strategies to retail design and layout. A retail atmosphere is all of the details inside a retail store's physical environment that influences customer behavior. Virtual merchandising is developing floor plans and 3D displays to maximize sales. Store layout is the design of a store's floor space and fixtures to facilitate the flow of traffic and shopping. Psychology, people turn right, consider traffic flow for signage, have a decompression zone at the front of the store, have sufficient space, have speed bumps, have impulse items by the checkout, and then lighting, sounds, smells, colors, and signage. Identify benefits and challenges of omnichannel retailing. So it's focused on the now economy, web rooming offline, showrooming online, and just having general integration. Identify new trends in retailing. These are things like lifestyle centers, malls being less reliant on department stores as anchors, and you can track customer purchases and offer follow-up. There's also fast fashion, digital retail in stores through omnichannel, offer services with products, mobile apps, monitoring shopper behaviors, and having experiences. And then just remember to look at those margin and markup equations that I looked at earlier. And those are also shown here, where margin percentage is the margin, which is the selling price minus the cost, over price, and then markup is the margin over the unit cost. And then last but not least, we have personal selling. Describe the marketing value added by personal selling. It's effective but expensive. Define the steps in the personal selling process. So first you target and qualify leads. You have your pre-approach and planning, your presentation, handling reservations, your close where you have your final selling points, and the follow-up where you build relationships post-purchase. Given certain market characteristics, determine when selling is superior to advertising. In terms of buyers, you use personal selling if they're geographically concentrated in lower numbers of them. For products, you use personal selling if the products are expensive, technically complex, custom, have special handling requirements, or have complex transactions. Prices, if prices are relatively high with higher margins, and if the channels are relatively short. And then lastly, distinguish among traditional and relationship selling based on the level of the customer relationship. Traditional selling, you're trying to understand the product, the consumer is the prospect, and you're using persuasion. I'm just gonna highlight this. And then relationship selling, you're understanding the customer's business and lifestyle. The consumer is a business asset, and you're much more partnering with the consumer. So that concludes all the review that I had. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.